United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. Executive session, we have none. Town administrator report?
Yes, thank you for taking
Bring
it
it up.
up, Chairman. I just have a brief report tonight. Wanted to make you all aware of, if you aren't already, that there was a washout on Scotland Road on May 16th. We happen to have our DPW director here, so he did a lot of sleuthing and found out where it came from, and it was actually on National Grid property.
Yes.
Correct? So that was the issue, and they've been notified. I don't know
Yeah,
if you've
they
heard
got
yet.
back to me, they got somebody getting on it, they said
Take-
they hope to fix it as soon as possible.
Okay, great. Plum Island Center, I wanted to give you an update. The DPW started the work there on May 19th. Expected to take a couple of weeks. We're looking at June 19th at a hopeful date of completion for the first phase of the project. So what they've done is they've removed all the signage, the fencing, the Jersey barriers have been taken out. They're replacing it with a stone wall. It looks amazing. Take a ride down there, it already looks like a different area. And then they'll complete the paving, and then the next phase will move into plantings, the viewing platform, and eventual the signage in the area. So I did have an opportunity today to meet with the chairman of the Board of Health. He wanted to confirm with the Board of Selectmen that you want to see the portable toilets in the area this season. I believe that you
We
had-
do.
you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Yep.
So they're gonna, once the DPW has completed their work, they'll bring those in. And also was able to negotiate a trash proposal with G. Miller Disposal, who does a lot of work out on the island now, to have pickup daily from basically what will be seasonally, May 15th to October 15th,
That's
on
good,
an
yeah.
annual basis. We're gonna, the proposal would be for barrels, so there wouldn't be a dumpster in that area, there would be barrels.
Every day?
Every day. 5, I think James's recommendation would start with 5, I think they're 55-gallon barrels. See how it works in an effort to, try one more
Well, I think,
alternative.
Tracy, that we should know for television too, that, the board has thought about a lot of things. We've listened to a lot of people. A lot of people have lobbied hard for barrels. Some of the experts are telling us that barrels won't work, but we're trying to do a lot of different things on the island, so we're gonna try barrels. And I would hope that the users of Plum Island try to respect the barrels and try to police the barrels a little bit themselves, meaning that if people are really abusing them, it doesn't take much to, like Chuck just said, he goes with the barrels, so
I've been there.
we're really taking the effort to go the longest yard to do what everyone has hoped we might try to do, make the island look better, try the barrels, put porta potties in, eventually try to move to something even more permanent for bathrooms. So we're making a real large effort, and we hope the residents can kind of, in their own way, like Manta Field, people seem to take care of things, that we can respect what we have.
And we will have a beach attendant there as well, so we'll have someone available.
Did you tell the rubbish company they were 55-gallon barrels? There's a lot of them.
They're providing them.
They're supplying them? End of discussion.
Is it gonna be
Sorry.
7 days a week?
7 days a week, yes. Yep.
Goodness sake.
So,
What is the
I'm
cost?
impressed.
$4,500.
That's
Very
not bad.
expensive.
But every day, picking up, I don't think that's bad at all. Weekends too.
Yeah, and last season, Mello did provide the dumpsters when we kind of went through that process as well, and they never charged us for those, as we were trying to determine what might work in that area.
And they get abused and all right, yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
The other thing I just wanted to alert you all to is the Harvard and Dartmouth sand issue there. The stones have become exposed in that area. We received a number of calls saying, they were concerned about the situation and whether or not it might be dangerous. Chief Riley, who's our emergency management director, did have an opportunity to get out and look at it, and those rights of access ways, those rights of way have been closed temporarily until the conditions should improve. Back in 2015, we did have some sand available from the Charos dredging project, so we were able to supplement the area with sand, but at this point in time, we don't have an appropriation or sand that would be suitable.
Without spending taxpayers' dollars.
Right, so that's where that is right now. And I also just wanted to note to you that I happened to be down on the island Friday when the DPW started the construction project. And was looking out, we had a beach patrol going back and forth in the Polaris, in the M1 unit. And I was curious because I kept seeing the officer stopping and getting out, and I was curious as to what he was doing, so I went down and looked. And he had garbage bags and was collecting garbage on the beach. So kudos to Officer Gamache, because he's definitely going above and beyond. Really very proud, for sure, so I wanted to let you know about that. And that's all I've got tonight, and I'm gonna leave early to go to the Beta concert.
Yep.
Okay?
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Bye.
Thanks, Tracy. Next on the docket, any board and committee reports? Did you have something you want to put in
I have
here?
a couple of things.
Okay, great, yeah.
Yeah, after that.
This is our town planner, by the way.
After that, I get that.
Okay.
Two things, actually. One is, I just wanted to give a brief update on the RFQ process for the OPM. We've gotten about 20 requests now, I think, from various people in response to the RFQ, which went live last Wednesday, the 17th. We have a walkthrough and Q&A session tomorrow morning, starting at 11, which will be at the police station, and then we'll go look at the vacant lot, and we go back in for answers and questions and answers. We'll be collecting all questions by the 31st, issue answers, written answers on the 1st, and then Q responses are due on June 8th. So it's moving along. We're excited that there's been that much interest, and hopefully we'll get a good bunch of.
Was Eric a little surprised there was that much of a response, or is that normal?
Well, he was hoping for about this.
Yeah, good.
Excuse me, I just need to pick up one thing here. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about quickly tonight is we have an opportunity to get some technical assistance from MVPC to prepare us for potential designation as a green community. Signing on to this doesn't mean I'm going to go for it, but at least it positions us to do that. So I've got a packet to hand out to all of you on the green community program. The top sheet actually, our neighboring communities are all green communities, and that's a listing of the funding that they've received for projects so far, energy improvement projects.
Martha, when you say neighboring, kind of who?
So it's Amesbury, Newburyport, Salisbury, and West Newbury.
Okay.
So if you look at this top sheet, you'll actually see that Amesbury, just for becoming designated a green community, got almost $174,000. Newburyport received $155 almost. Salisbury's received $160. West Newbury $140, and we would be eligible potentially for $184,000 if we decide to go for this. It's something that came up a few years ago, back in I think 2009, 2010, and there are some criteria that the town needs to meet, one of which is to adopt a stretch energy code. And at that time, it was felt that that was too onerous for property owners and contractors, because it was quite a bit more stringent than the base code.
So we would be providing some amendments to our bylaws to
So-
like hyper-insulate and everything else?
Right, so that would be it. So there are 5 criteria for us to actually be designated. One is as of right siting for either renewable energy facilities or research and development facilities that focus on renewable energy or renewable or alternative energy manufacturing facilities. We already allow R&D facilities by right in our commercial business and light industrial, so to designate them for renewable energy, I don't think would be too much of a stretch from what we have right now. Also expedited permitting for these facilities. A 5-year energy reduction plan to reduce our baseline energy use by 20 years, 20% over 5 years, which is one of the main things that MVPC would help us with. Adopting a written fuel-efficient vehicle policy for all of our 4-wheel vehicles, but there are exceptions for emergency fire trucks, ambulances, cruisers, that kind of thing. And then the last would be adoption of the stretch code. And I communicated with Sam about this. The stretch code is really, as I was mentioning, kind of the killer before, but the stretch code and the baseline code are getting closer and closer now. And the difference really is the base code is prescriptive. It tells you what R value you need for your insulation and that kind of thing. Whereas the performance-based, you have to reach a certain rating. So Sam is recommending, he thinks that this would be the appropriate time to go for it. So since we have this opportunity to at least get some assistance to prepare ourselves and give us also time to determine whether it's really right for us, my request would be that the board authorize Chairman Walker to sign a memorandum of understanding with MVPC to at least allow us to start preparing ourselves again without committing ourselves to actually doing it.
You need that in motion?
I think so.
Go ahead.
I'd like more time to review it, but make the motion.
I move that we authorize Chairman Walker to initiate getting the
The memorandum of understanding with Merrimack Valley Planning Commission.
Merrimack Valley Planning Commission.
Second the motion. We're in discussion phase.
Yep.
Okay, Mayor.
Sure.
All right. On the front page of the paper today, the report had solar streetlights going in, and they were saving a bundle on it. And I also noticed one of the things, National Grid is gonna start charging you a lot more money for streetlights if you don't go that way. Will that be covered under this?
But I noticed that, I think it was Amesbury, had a grant to fund this, actually it's Newburyport, $250,000 to fund a citywide streetlight LED conversion.
Because I was gonna
That's
say,
huge.
otherwise the town has to pay for it.
Yeah.
So we gotta have,
Yeah.
before we get.
And we save a bundle of money in the long run on it,
Yeah.
because,
And it might help us meet the goal of reducing our energy expenditure.
thank you.
But before we get fenced into having to do it, we wanna be able to receive that type of grant too. Otherwise, we're gonna have to pay for the installation of the solar lighting.
Right, I mean, it would, I think the base designation would give us some funding, and we could potentially use it for that or any other related energy project that we wanted. It might also allow us to build some energy savings,
It's a one-time
systems
shot?
into the, it's not, you get a certain amount when you're designated a green community, and then it positions you to be able to get additional grant funding in the
By
future.
application, we want this, will you pay for it? So how that,
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that works, but if you look at this sheet, the white, the sums that are in white are what they received when they received their green community designation, and the ones in yellow are funding that they got subsequently.
We've had so much angst in town signing large solar facilities. It seems to me, giving them an expedited permitting process and
Well,
as of right status,
that was one of the questions I had, because I agree with you, and so
I mean, that's very alarming, given what we've
Right.
been through in the last 4 years in this
I
town.
spoke with Neil Duffy, who's the Northeast coordinator for the program, and he said it's not, you don't
He said, don't worry, right?
No, so you don't have to do, it's an either or, you don't have to do the renewable energy facility itself. So we could do research and development.
Could, I mean,
Or-
along
or
with this, can you
manufacturing.
potentially zone it into a commercial zone?
And I did ask him whether we could do an overlay district or something like that. And I think that if we decided that we wanted to allow it by right somewhere, we could certainly designate where it would go.
All right,
But we're not required to do that as part of the criteria.
Okay, I recommend to everyone else at this table to take a good look at this before we head down this road.
Well, I think, given the timeline, Martha and I spoke about this some today, I think starting the process is not committing to it. We're not saying, just because Chairman Walker starts the conversation with the Merrimack Valley Planning, that we are going to go through with it. But I think, given the fact that we don't have to include solar initiatives, but we can do R&D facilities instead, we don't have to allow them to do anything with solar in town. We're not opening that door.
I mean,
That's what it says or.
Yeah, I
You
know,
know.
it's a lot to digest, just having it dropped in front of me and saying, give me the green light to go,
Right.
you know?
And I apologize for that, unfortunately.
Well, this is
NBC
just to
is looking-
receive money to explore further, but, and to maybe add a little hesitation. The only hesitation, I mean, the solar is a hesitation for some, but I'd like to see how much more the criteria for windows and insulation and other things increases the cost of a house. And that's something we can ask Sam. I mean, it's hard enough for young people to build a house, if it actually, even though it has long-term benefits, you know, any of this light development has long-term benefits, but when you start to go with that light impact development, you're adding a lot to the building envelope cost. It might put the ability for someone to have a house because of a zoning bylaw in our town out of reach.
Right, it does apply only to houses that are 3,000 square feet and greater. New construction, non-additions and renovations. So, and commercial, it applies to commercial and industrial.
And like I said, if it's serious, you know, we can find out, I mean, if it's a minimal amount of money, if it gets up into 15s and 20s and all that kind of thousands of dollars, then that's a lot of money. So,
So is this, if we decide to go this road, are we gonna have to do any bylaw amendments?
We do, and so that's what I was about to mention also. The stretch code would be a bylaw amendment as well as the renewable energy and alternative. So if it didn't pass at town meeting, then
It's moot.
it's moot.
So this would be a good opportunity to look at a lot of things, tighten up the bylaws.
So you give us an opportunity to at least explore it and get a little bit of funding assistance to help us do that. So that's really what it is at this point. And again, I apologize.
Do you
for
have a
the
deadline that
lateness.
you need to sign back by?
If MVPC, we're going to be included in the MVPC grant, which is being funded by the Department of Energy Resources. It needs to be May 1st, which is next Thursday. So,
if this grant for $1,500,
75, up to 7,500.
all right, if this grant for up to $7,500 helps us to find more information and illuminate all the niches and crannies of this bylaw, we would be crazy if there's no strings attached, right?
Yep, I was told no strings attached.
If there's no strings attached, we'd be crazy not to have the ability to have more resources to find out what we need to know.
Right.
Yeah, that's certainly my feeling. Get the money in and start looking at it, and if we decide we don't like it, we'll walk away.
Would you make sure that our vote is contingent on the fact that there are no strings attached? All right. So is everyone ready to vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Okay, with 3-2? Okay, good.
Wasn't on the agenda.
I apologize.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do you have anything else, Martha?
No, that was it.
Alicia?
The media committee met with Comcast, this week, and they started talking about negotiations for the Comcast agreement. So the committee so far has met with, somebody from the state has come up and explained the renewal process to them. And then they just recently met with the Comcast rep. So that process is moving forward. We don't have to sign anything until 2019 for that, so
How many years is that?
10 years.
10 years.
Wow.
Goodness.
Anything else, Felicia? Questions?
Should make Comcast start bringing things to where they say they will. I've had a lot of residents complain to me that Comcast said, oh, we guarantee that we'll bring it to everyone. Oh, it's just gonna cost you $5,000.
When you say
Before you
net,
start
what do
paying.
you mean it? What is it?
Cable.
Cable, internet, or TV?
Both.
Yeah, the only thing that we have, and this is a misunderstanding, the only thing that it might be a misunderstanding in town, the only thing that the town has any power to negotiate with them with this contract renewal is with the cable TV. Nothing to do with internet. Internet's completely separate.
Well, they won't bring either to a lot of places, so.
So please, take that up and send it to me, and I'll forward it along to the committee. Now's the time to speak for
And
this.
add to it, I don't think we have a really good New Hampshire access channel. I miss my windows to the wild. All right. Anything else, Felicia?
No.
All right, I guess I have a report, and it is the fact that I signed a PR 17-23, and it is that I signed a VW 17-24, and it is that I signed a VW 17-24, and these are expenses for and salaries for town employees. New business, appointment, Mike's here, appointment for,
Can I
Oh,
interrupt for
oh,
a minute?
sure.
I'm sorry.
don't worry
So,
about it.
I was looking through the appointment data, and this is not an appointment of the Board of Selectmen, it's an appointment of Tracy, so she
Oh.
said just take it off.
So let's go on.
Sorry.
That makes it
Easy
easy,
enough?
Mike, you're off the hook. All right, and you're gonna correct me on something else as we go through this request for public property use. Caleb. So when we get there, we'll talk. Request for public property use for a special permit, and it is for the Northeast Coast to Cure bike ride, and we've done this in our town before, and it is on September 9th, 2017, from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it is Hanover Green, Halo Streets and High Road. Do I have a
Motion
motion?
to approve?
Second.
Is there discussion, anyone from them?
I'm here from the organization.
Would you, anything you care to say?
No, I'm happy to answer any
Okay.
questions. As you know, it's our 7th year riding through town.
Do you want to come up and give some advertising about what it is, and people will come and
About
cheer,
the
cheer you on?
disease and-
Yeah, so neurofibromatosis northeast, it's a genetic disorder that causes tumors to form on any nerve in the body.
Wow.
We're located in Burlington, and so this is our 7th annual Course to Cure bike ride. It has 3 routes, 24, 66, and 100 miles. We start and end at Stage 4 Park in Gloucester.
Wow.
So,
Sign up.
registered fundraising, but no, we, don't paint on the roads. We
Thank you.
kind of love driving through you guys. I know the deal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else, yeah, anything? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We request for public property use special permit from Island Surfcasters and its use of firefighters Memorial Hall. It is on June 6, 2017, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
One-day liquor license, Byfield Newbury Baseball Softball League. It is for closing day ceremonies, and it is expensive at Pierce Little Farm, and it's on Sunday, June 11th, 2017, from 12 to 5:30 p.m.
Motion.
Second?
Is there discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We do have a one-day liquor license from Mercury Brewing and Distribution Company, Inc., and it is for the Byfield Music and Arts Festival at Central Street, and it is on Saturday, June 24, 2017, from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And we do have a one-day liquor license for Caleb for Saintly Side of Byfield Music and Arts Festival, and it is on Saturday, 24th, 2017, from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Do I have a motion?
Second?
Is there discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and this is the one I could be a little hazy on. One-day liquor license for Caleb again for St. Louis Cider, and it is Sundays at Tender Crop Farm, and it is on July 2nd and August 6th. Is there only one of those days now?
So I misunderstood the liquor license application and Caleb and I didn't communicate well. So he's chosen, yeah, he's chosen July 23rd and August 20th.
Okay,
So there's only 2
23rd.
days.
Yeah, so I should have put or instead of and, because I
Alright, so-
wasn't sure what he was doing at that point.
If I'm saying it, the liquor license is gonna be for July 23rd
Yeah,
and August
20th.
20th, so I would take a motion relevant to that.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Is there discussion? All
Is this
those in-
is this gonna be an and or an or? Is he getting two
You
liquor
said or.
licenses or one?
Two, one for July 23rd and one for
Okay.
August 20th.
Okay, I just wanna make sure he gets meetings. Okay, thank you.
So he has two on the table. Is there any discussion? And it's all those in favor?
Aye.
We have the special permit application submission, and it is from the Newbury Golf Center, and it is the LLC. It's at 130, 133, and 151 Scotland Roads. Martha, are you gonna be able to speak to the fact they're coming to you for maybe site plan review, and what do we have to do? Talk about a public hearing?
So.
What do we have to do tonight? Are they
So-
here? Where are they? Okay,
Is
good.
it- So tonight, you would need to accept the application and set a public hearing date. Because of parking and other things that are part of the project, I haven't talked to Sam about it, but I'm assuming that it's gonna be a level 2 site plan review. So
Okay.
that would require a public hearing with the planning board as well. So,
Okay, and
Do
we
you wanna
have,
do them
and
together?
we have to set a public hearing. Is that gonna be a joint hearing of the planning board and the selectmen like it always is, or sometimes has
that
been?
would be up to you if you would like to do that. I discussed it with the planning board, and they're certainly happy to do that as
Alright.
well. And we did,
Dates in mind?
we talked about,
Write this
doing,
down, Chuck, if you want to make a motion.
doing it at one of your regular meetings, June 27th, I think.
That is for the public hearing?
That would be for the public hearing.
Okay.
So we'll be submitting to the planning board on June 7th, so that would still give us enough time to advertise the public hearing.
Are we gonna be doing 2 a month during the summer, or?
Yeah, I thought we only had
No,
one
we're
meeting.
gonna head into, one a month, but we'll figure out how this is gonna fall. So, June could get a little hectic.
So if we
So
accept,
first we have to accept the
so if we
application.
accept it, Martha, right, we have so many days to have the public hearing, is that correct?
90.
You have 65 days within which to open the public hearing,
Okay,
and then the public hearing can last as long as it needs to.
yeah,
And then 14 days to file after you've actually made the decision.
and after we close the hearing, you have how many days before you,
Well, that's,
it's like 45 days or something?
after you close it, you have 14 days to file the decision.
So that we're moving right along. I think one of the things that is important, obviously, make a motion to accept, but I think a public hearing is going to eliminate a lot of, you know,
Pieces.
the pieces of the pie, as Raymond just said. So, I would entertain a motion to accept the application.
So move.
Is there discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. It was easier than you thought.
It is this Eric?
Yeah.
Eric, good, thank you. Chuck, you get the date for a public hearing?
6/27.
Yep, 6/27. Make a motion to set, you know, we have to, what, be 2 weeks, we have to, 2 weeks in advance, 14 days?
You're gonna set the public hearing for 6/27.
All right, so a motion to set the public hearing. Chuck,
So moved.
for
Joint
6
public hearing.
Joint public hearing. Let's discuss. Motion's been made for 6/27 for joint public hearing. Anyone second that?
Second.
Now let's have discussion. Everyone happy with the joint hearing? Everyone happy with the time?
Joint hearing is great.
Is
we
the
should set a
planning
time.
Okay.
Is the planning
Martha,
board okay?
just to put it in a nutshell, what's the planning board's role at this joint hearing? Is it an advisory role? Are you guys gonna be making any type of decision at this table?
Well, they make a decision regarding the site plan, so we're looking at lighting, traffic,
So the
signage.
purpose of the planning board meeting with us would be as in an advisory,
Well,
informational
And
role?
they have to make their own decision. I mean, there are two decisions that will be made. One is a special permit decision for the use in the residential agricultural district, which requires a special permit from the selectmen. And that's a supermajority, so 4 out of 5 of you would have to vote in favor of that. The planning board decision is a site plan review decision, which is required under our bylaw, so it's not really advisory in that sense. It is a decision, but we found that in the past, excuse me, having the joint hearings it enables both boards to get a lot of questions answered and asked, and the applicant doesn't go through the process twice with repeating essentially the same material. But each board would render its own decision.
Could the roles potentially be reversed and you could have a joint meeting with selectmen as a planning board?
It's really up to you all.
Okay.
But I mean, the idea too is illuminating the basic findings of site plan. If they trigger certain thresholds for site plan review, when those thresholds are triggered, elicit certain regulations, certain changes that they have to comply with. And we would want to know those.
So JR makes a good point. So if you guys are gonna have, when are you before the planning board to submit your stuff for site plan review?
June 7th.
June 7th. And then your next meeting is June 21st, right?
Right, but that would not be soon enough for the advertising requirements. It needs to be posted twice, at least, the first one at least 14 days ahead.
Okay.
So if it's submitted to us on June 7th, and you didn't want to do it at your meeting on the 27th, the next opportunity would really be July 5th, which is right after the
July 4th.
holiday.
Yeah.
I propose we amend the motion to set the time at 7:15 in case we have a little business to take care of first. Is there a second on that amendment?
I'll second that.
Then that's liable to be our only meeting in June, so we could have a long meeting.
Okay.
All right. Any other discussion that feeds into that amendment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And now we vote on the main motion.
We do.
Yeah,
Well, since I made an amendment, I
Okay.
vote on the
And the amendment is for the time?
amendment for the time.
All right, so we will vote on the amended motion that is been submitted by Mr. Damon.
Chuck Riddick.
All right, and Chuck for the amendment for the time. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, we have another special permit application submission that we have to accept and set a public hearing for. And that's from John O'Connell. And it might be easier, John, for you to tell us what this is about, and then, you know, and James is here also, and then we'll set a date for the public.
Okay, do I need to stand anywhere, or can I stay
I
here?
mean, why don't you get that side so you show up good?
Oh, okay.
John, do you want to sit here?
Oh, okay, that sounds good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, as you all know, James, and James is the man here, I guess it's a little help. He's gonna be redoing the drainage system on the Main Street end of Forest Street, Main Street from Forest to Central, and Central up to Lunt this summer. We've been through the Conservation Commission with no issues. Sam decided that, although the wording is a little bit ambivalent, since this is a town project, it would be appropriate to have a special permit hearing. So this is what we're asking for. I feel kind of embarrassed, I've only got this, and the other guy brought a box full. There's less for you to read.
I read the wording on it.
What's that?
I read the wording on it, he's right.
What?
Sam's right.
Oh, you really? Did that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't, it goes, Sam's
I
always
was
right.
concerned
I mean,
about the
that's his
delay of
job,
the public
you know?
hearing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think you know,
Yeah.
if it's at
It
all
is what it is.
ambivalent, you gotta do it, because it's a town project.
Yeah.
All right, so I would entertain a motion for setting the public hearing. Let's accept the special permit application first.
I move we accept the special permit application.
Second.
Is there discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I would then accept a motion to set a date and time for the public hearing.
Now, do you need a joint public meeting with the planning board too?
No.
Now, this is a water supply protection district, public hearing, which is, if this were a site plan review as well, then it would be a joint meeting, but in this case, it's just you folks.
And we need the 14 days to publicize as well?
Yeah, we're talking about, we're well into June, unfortunately.
And Chuck was concerned because it starts to set some things back, right, Chuck?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting into the paving season for one thing.
Yeah,
We have to obey the law, so,
okay.
you
Mhm.
know.
All right.
whatever it
The
is.
good news is he couldn't do it right now because the river is flowing so high, and we have so much of the erosion,
Yeah.
the
Whether it's not
siltation
favorable.
barriers in land that is now underwater, and hopefully won't be when he starts.
What if we do a motion for public hearing and we'll set the date afterwards?
Well, how about,
Amending it, you mean? Yeah.
can you give me that, Martha, again, that time frame when we first accept a special permit, we have to have the first public hearing by,
Within 65 days.
Well,
But we're trying to move this
we're
one
after
quickly.
getting a public hearing right off the bat.
Yeah, we
I
would
move
really
that
like to
we-
have it as soon as we possibly could.
that's,
And you
yeah.
need to notify, have the legal notice a minimum of 14 days before it opens.
In this,
Helen, you worked this out earlier, had you
Yeah,
not?
but I don't think I worked it out correctly with the,
The holiday.
yeah.
I mean, you
So we
could
can't
still-
do the June 6th meeting, we're beyond that
Yeah,
now.
no, that was the June 13th meeting.
You could do the 13th if you advertise on.
June
On
could end
Monday.
up with one
This Monday.
meeting.
Monday the
Next
holiday.
Monday.
Monday's the
It's a
holiday,
holiday.
but you could do it if you advertise on the 30th, on Tuesday.
June could end up with one meeting in that month anyway, and if we're already have a public hearing on 6/27, it might be that date anyway. So,
Can we don't think it's too much to have two public hearings in one day, no?
no.
It's
Done
not
before.
fun, but,
Could we have a special meeting just for that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
My question-
move that we have a public hearing on June 13th.
Quick question, Martha, does this have to be a supermajority vote?
Special permit.
Yeah.
Rats, means we all gotta be here.
All right, make a motion then for the, we'll have two meetings in June, and make a
So-
motion.
Well, the 13th will
Can we
work.
It will
fit that?
work.
We can
The
fit that.
13th will work.
Okay,
At 7:15.
yep,
Okay.
motion to make,
I moved.
okay.
Anyone second that?
Is there a second?
I'm lost, I'm sorry.
6:13, 7, no, it can't be 7:15, we get another public hearing at 7:15.
No, 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 no.
that's
Oh,
a
no,
different
that's right
day.
too.
That's
All
why
right,
we're
good
doing
enough, good enough.
it earlier to try and get this.
Make the
moving
motion out
forward.
loud.
I move that we hold a public hearing on June 13th at 7:15.
Second one.
Is there any discussion on this illustrious motion? Then, all
Nice
those
work.
are in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So that's-
Thank you, John,
need
for all-
it, you need it that soon, right?
As soon
Yes,
as-
that would be
well,
great.
It's
Yeah.
hard to say. James would be doing this now if it hadn't rained like crazy in April, because the river
But it would
is
actually,
really high.
hopefully the 13th, sooner the better, because if the
Yeah,
water
it's-
goes down, we want to
You
get
know,
started.
he was trying to do it between plowing and paving, and, you know,
That's-
getting awful close to paving.
That ship sailed.
Yep.
John, thanks for all your.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
James.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks
Thanks,
for getting
guys.
that
Thank you
early.
very much.
This is,
See you.
It's a good
Extra
team.
reading.
thanks a million.
See you, Ellen.
We have a request of the recreational committee to install rope fencing at Central Street, recreation and environmental resource area, and we've got it in our packet, we've looked at it, where, hello, you wanna come up and tell us a little?
Sure, James
It
leads
seemed to
now.
look, it seemed to look nice.
You wanna go and get it?
No, no.
Student labor review.
I have not heard back.
Here he is, right here.
James, would you like to hear this?
Sure.
I
love
It's
it.
it's just one more thing for you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Actually, I've been talking to James about how to fit this into his schedule so it doesn't impede his other projects. We see the fencing as an opportunity to fit in between projects. Instead of starting something on a Thursday, the day of it, we could start putting the fencing in post by post, and then when it's all posts are in. But the idea is to start protecting the asset that we have in the field, minimizing the, what do I call it, attractive nuisance. Some of us know about the annual rite of passage, comes in Byfield. Somebody every 3 years, it seems like, comes through Byfield in a car, I assume it's a car, carries up the field, a few people's lawns in the area, and is using the spring when it's harder to repair the field. And since we have the field well booked, we don't want to have any damage. The idea is to run it up into the park line, left-hand side up towards the field house for now to get it started. We work with actually with the DPW as well as the fire, so they have emergency access and access for handicap parking. And we're exploring other ways to secure the back area without it being as costly. It could be a berm, it could be telephone poles. One of the ideas came up was put a fence in and open the fence up seasonally. So when it feels okay for people to have access to the back, so open the fence, people be able to drive out back. Come November, there's no need for people to be driving out back there, close it up until we're ready to open in the spring.
Okay. Motion?
Motion to grant the Recreation Committee permission to install the rope fence.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
How much is this fence gonna cost?
Currently it's about 5'10", 6 foot, correct?
Yeah.
We're looking at anywhere between 5'10", I think you said, or maybe a bit further. So it's just up to the field house. Total cost would be for the fencing, $3,000 or so.
Yeah, I figured the exact measurement.
Something of that nature. The fence we're looking at, new candidate, just looking at how some of the details first would be anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500.
It's a lot cheaper than other things.
Well, it's also a lot cheaper than
Fix the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's gonna come out of the revolving fund, right?
out of the recreation committee funds.
Yeah.
And what we'd like to do is invite all the selectmen to help dig one of the holes. for the-
As long as I can use the tractor.
Team building, yeah.
Is there any other discussion?
How regularly will the rope have to be replaced on those?
I would think it should be good.
When I talked to some people, like 10, 15 years.
That's what I was gonna
It's
guess,
not
about
being
10.
stepped on, it's off the ground.
Yeah.
What are you using for rope?
I don't know, we get it from the fence company,
Yeah.
it's probably about that big.
Yeah, but is it polypropylene or is it nylon?
Nylon.
Okay. That'll last a long while.
All right, that's good enough for me.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Fit in when you can.
Hey, John,
We
I was
have-
just coming to find you and they
Oh.
called me back.
Yeah.
And the old
So,
business
there
has
you
to
go.
do with
Yeah.
I'll go.
overflow.
Like I said, we.
And thanks to some of the work that Chief Riley has done, and he's here to illuminate that. And we need to facilitate his hard work.
Mark, will you close the door?
Mark,
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 close the door, please.
Oh, I'll stand it.
and that hard work will
You're
probably,
not supposed to have the door closed.
Oh, good God.
But they'll probably be-
Oh, it's
As long
unlocked.
as they're not locked.
And that door's open.
Open it just a crack.
Thank you.
now that we have squared away our access to town hall, Mike, you need to help, you need to illuminate what we have to do. We have to facilitate you with a motion for signage and stuff, so what do you got?
I'll enforce anything the board votes on. I went out and looked at the area. I submitted a report with the photos. There's no denying that there's damage being done from the overflow parking. I did have conversation with Mr. Duffield and Riverfront,
Yep.
Mr. Moulton.
Yep.
And they can accommodate a certain amount of overflow parking for a fee. But it would be vehicles without trailers. So, you know, all the guests and people like that can park over at Newbury Kayak and Canoe or over at Riverfront. There's limited amount of parking there, but they'll accommodate as many as they can. I did, on the back side of the field against the stone wall, it's about 350 feet. There's a porta potty there now that would probably have to be moved to a different location, but you know, that could probably accommodate 8 or 10 vehicles with trailers. So,
So
Yeah.
at least,
there'll be some overflow and availability for overflow for vehicles with trailers. But, you know, on the real busy weekends, get there earlier, launch at Cashman Park. I don't know what else to tell you.
we probably should make a motion.
I move that we post the Lower Green as no parking and post along Newman Road as trailer parking. And also post at the landing that there's overflow parking.
And you basically mean inside across from the schoolhouse is where you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I'm not talking Newman Road.
no,
Sorry,
that's right, we got you.
we'll clarify it.
No, we have to finish making the motion.
We did.
Yeah,
But you
like that.
wanna clarify it again?
Yes.
Okay.
So, we post the green as no parking, we post the section on the Lower Green parking trail is submitted to us by Mike for trailer parking in the area highlighted in yellow in our packet. And that somewhere at the town landing, we have signage about the overflow parking at Fernals and Riverfront Marina.
On the weekends, we always have harbor master helpers and the assistant harbor masters out there that can direct people as well.
I will second that long motion.
And,
I couldn't be any shorter, I'm sorry.
and the discussion that emanates from that would be, at least for me, starting the fact that I think definitely the parking across from the schoolhouse on the dirt road should be restricted to trailer parking.
We'll enforce whatever you think, but that makes the most sense to me. You know, people without trailers.
And I think the
You
only
can't
other,
do that.
the only other observation would be, you know, people have to be really careful walking across from Dave's
Yeah.
on that corner.
Absolutely.
That's a tough,
Yeah.
tough corner. If you got a family and kids trying to cross that road.
I think the largest area that can facilitate that parking is at Newbury Kayak and Canoe. And that's on the same side of the road, so
Which is better.
that is better.
So when you say, I just need to clarify, when you say that they'll park for a fee,
Oh yeah, they're a business, I mean.
no, but I'm just trying to understand, whoever wants to park their car pays,
Yes, pays the
that,
business
the
directly.
town's not
No.
involved at all?
No.
Okay, that's just what I want clarification.
Any other discussion from the board?
I talked to Tracy about the possibility of having, if there's a lot of this overflow parking required, whether or not the town wants to try and help residents if they have to pay. So they can come back to the town clerk and say, I have my permit, I was forced to pay for parking. So I don't know if that's something we want to pursue or not, since everyone has paid for parking.
I thought about that. It seems like the simplest way to do that would be make it permanent only. I mean, I don't know, you know, there's more ramifications.
Yeah.
Although that too.
Well, that was my thought.
The problem is, talking about precedent and everything, but if you have a parking permit and you go to Plum Island and the parking places are full for resident parking or whatever, you have to go park in a parking lot too.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was just a thought that I'd had, because people expect to be able to park.
It's just the resources aren't there.
Yeah.
Most of the people that are down there know
What's
what
up?
busy weekends, you know,
Yeah.
and they know to get there early.
Yeah.
And carpool. you know.
Yeah, it is what it is. Most weekends, the overflow isn't too bad. There are some weekends when it's really bad.
Yeah, the
People know.
Memorial Day,
Memorial Day,
4th of
Labor
July,
Day,
Labor
yeah,
Day,
4th of
right.
July, yeah. it falls. So most people know that, and people have been using the river quite a bit, so.
Yeah.
Fred?
So do we like the, oh, go ahead.
Two points. Number one, 2 weeks ago, we talked about posting this, no parking tow zone. I didn't hear the tow zone come into the motion. That's number one.
Mhm.
Number two, on the parking, I'm gonna come to the defense of this, or on the road that goes around behind the green, that's where people park to visit the old schoolhouse. If you restrict that to trailer parking only, they have no place to park.
Mr. Thurlow has a point. While I was out there measuring and walking the area, at least 3 cars, and this was a cloudy, rainy, well, 2 days, one rainy day and one regular, nice day. At least 3 cars pulled up and people got out and were walking around the schoolhouse. So
Oh, that's another point, and also you've got the Greenbelt property, and they park there to visit the Greenbelt property in the back. And they don't have trailers.
So, you know, most of the time, on the busy weekends during the morning, the overflow, you'll be able to fit trailers in there, so. I don't know,
Yeah.
That's up to you. We'll enforce anything you want, so.
I just put the trailer stipulation in because trailers are not welcome at Furnos and Riverfront. And I wanted to make sure we maintain some space for our voters, but I think that's a very good point. So maybe I should amend it to,
I think we'll try it this way. Get, so there's interfering and there's huge problems, then we'll amend it.
So the idea of what Chuck is just saying, that kind of for boat trailers within that designated area, and does that leave other cars any place else to park down there, like that are historic boats? Do they have room on that, right?
On the far side, it's restricted just to trailers. Depends on how many vehicles with trailers are there.
But I'm saying, that takes up that whole side.
Yeah.
yeah, so it looks, what I'd said was to do trailer parking from here to here, which would mean that you'd either have to be parked in front of that house or back in here as cars.
Can we split the difference? Can we leave
3 spots.
cars only, trucks with trailers only? I know that's complicating things.
Just get through talking about catching, I mean, first come, first served.
But if we say it's trailer
If it was only-
only, the first served cars are not, can't
Yeah,
park
but you
anywhere.
know, Mike just said we only need trailers 3 weekends a year. So, I think if we just make it regular parking, why do we have to stipulate trailers only? If they can pull a trailer up and they can find space, great.
Well, because we've gone through the added extra to look for overflow parking, but that overflow parking cannot or will not serve trailers. So we haven't, and if everyone's gonna go to the free parking first.
Mhm.
So
So where are they parking now?
they're parking on the green
All
itself.
around.
Yeah, parking on the routes of the
But
green.
So they pull onto the green.
So there's no parking over here in this spot here, Mike?
That's the boat ramp itself.
Right.
May I
Well,
look,
they
see what,
parking
see
right
what
down
it's
here.
talking about?
And there's no but there's no parking into here for them?
It fills up real fast.
What about the real
Right
estate?
here.
That's the boat, yeah.
So there's parking, like, oh, there's no parking in here?
There's, that, no.
It's a stone wall, it's a pond.
Yeah, here's this.
Okay.
It's all in here, and they park over in here too.
Right next to the,
And this is what they claim over here.
And they're parking in here, and then when they leave, they drive across the green, oh my God, yeah.
So, I mean, even if you, instead of posting it, you can post it with a sign at the entrance, but if you put some hard structures like boulders or something there, so cars can't physically pull through,
Right.
that might be something to consider too.
You know, it might work out sometime to at least have this parking available
This picture too.
and maybe designated on weekends for trailers or something. But, you know, maybe at a certain point, and I don't know how how the regulations or bylaws that govern the lower green are, but it might behoove us at a certain point to put some gravel parking for 3 cars next to the school.
Just gonna mention that, good for you. Just gonna say, there's a
Because
spot right there.
It doesn't seem like
That
it
spot
would
right
be,
there?
Yep.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it
Yep.
would be a tremendous intrusion. It would designate parking for at least 3 cars, it doesn't have to be huge, it can just be bigger than that afterwards, it'll be a free, fight for whatever happens, but, the school is a really nice, and it wouldn't take, if it were gravel, James could push that out in the winter too, because sometimes even parking any place on that street with big snow drifts is a pain in the neck, so we could turn the plow in and push out the gravel pad.
Yep.
So
Well, maybe we
maybe,
should write a letter to the historic commission and
Yes,
see
I
if they
think
have.
you better consult with the
Well-
historical commission on that, I don't think they're gonna like that. Yeah, but I don't know,
Yep.
I can't speak for them.
I mean, Fred, it's gonna take, we should present our letter correctly, because it's gonna distill some of the willy-nilly parking for the schoolhouse, at least put it in one place,
Yep.
so.
And it'll protect the trees.
Yes, I mean, what we're after is protect the tree. We're just trying to.
Pass the motion we have on the table now, and we'll start the process of notifying the historical commission and all the others that need to be notified by the property.
So
Alright.
let's go back to the parking with the trailers. Do we wanna make that,
Right here.
yeah, but do we wanna post that sticker, resident parking only?
Well, if you put no boat in the boat ramp,
It's supposed to be resident.
Yeah, but
wrong
then you
on
might
that?
be
I
coming
think,
from
no, I think
out of state.
Alicia's right, it should be, you should have a parking permit to park there if you're gonna have a trailer.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
So I think, do you wanna make an amendment then? That'd be resident parking only?
Yeah. I move an amendment that any posted parking that we put down here to address the issues should be resident sticker parking.
The voting issues.
Yes.
I'll second.
Now, before we get into discussion, is that alien to any thinking that you have, Michael?
No, I mean, you need a sticker to launch the lowest permit.
Mm.
Is that separate from the sticker that you get to park up the beach?
No,
The same.
No, thank you.
Same sticker.
Same sticker.
All right, let's make this motion, and then we'll make a separate motion to approach the historic commission for some guidance on how to make a dedicated parking lot.
Vote on the amendment?
Yep. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion for approaching the historical commission to see if they have
Well, we
any.
still have the main motion on the table.
Motion.
Hmm?
We have to vote on the amended motion now.
What did we amend it to?
We just made it
Parking
resident
only.
as opposed to just trailers only.
All right, vote for the main motion. All those in favor, any discussion?
No, wait a minute. The main motion is to put up, we're not gonna deal with the no parking signs, right? Are we gonna deal with the no parking in the boulders over in the green, or just this
It's-
strip here?
We,
You move to post the lower green as no parking.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mike ought to, let's amend this motion one more time, or at least not
Wait a
even
minute, let's
amend
hear-
it, let's discuss.
Let's hear what the motion
Before we
is, Jim.
put boulders in, I think there should be no parking signs
Let's-
placed under the trees.
Let's hear what the motion is.
And go from there and designate the parking area itself. So, if someone can make that motion,
we have the motion on the table, she was just about to read it.
so you don't have to amend it again to get rid of the
Why
boulders.
don't you have
That-
them?
I didn't have
No
boulders in the
No,
first.
I don't know where the boulders came from. All right, good.
Have the motion maker
Don't
rescind
mix
his
me up, Alicia.
motion, and the second agree, and start over.
Start over.
The first motion that was made was to move to post the lower green as no parking. Post along the inside road, highlighted in yellow by Mike Chiarelli, as trailer parking. Post overflow parking at the town landing, available at Arnold's and the Kayak.
And that was made by David. Now, if that's the original motion, just for clarification, what did that get amended to?
Is that
And
the
then amended
trailer
it to
park
be
is resident parking?
resident parking only.
All right.
And that was where the trailers were being parked?
Yeah, so I don't know what we wanna do with the trailers. Do we wanna designate it to be just trailer or just?
It hasn't
say
It
changed.
already is, that's what the main motion is.
And so
All
I
right,
think the
so
question.
did we pass the
Never passed
resident
any.
permit only?
The only thing you passed is that it be resident parking only,
Okay.
and that's everywhere, or just at the lower grade.
I thought we
At
were
the section
gonna
along
do
Lower
the
Green,
green
that's the
myself.
only stuff we're talking about.
Yeah.
How can we make this,
I know.
I thought about taking it one piece of.
I think
things
we
at a
need to
time.
take it one piece at a time.
And the question where those brought
I
up
think
was,
if
should
we
it
pass
be
what we have on
total?
the table, we will give the chief what he needs to work with.
Should we have it be a no parking or no parking tow zone?
Your thoughts?
Well, if you don't tow it, somebody parks there for $50 all day and the resident can't park his or her vehicle there. So, down the beach we go. So, just as soon tow them out of there and open a spot up for somebody else to park
All
legally.
right, that was easy, so add that to another motion. Why don't we make a
I would
motion to
like to
scrap all our
remove
motions?
my motion and start again.
All
All right, that's what this is.
All right, make a motion
I'm
and
just-
a second
I
that.
second.
And any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Start again.
I move that we post the lower green as a no parking tow zone. Period.
Would you like
Wow.
to take this as a single motion and then continue?
Yes, and then we'll do the next step.
All right, so is there a second to that?
So right now, I'll second that for sake
Is
of
there
sake of
discussion?
discussion. Yeah, so right now, what we're talking about is just this yellow strip here that
No,
might,
we're not-
No, we're talking about on the green.
No, on
Can't
the green
park
itself.
on the green itself.
Right.
oh, all around the green.
No,
Well,
on the green.
I didn't think you could park on the green anyways.
People
do.
have,
They do.
that's the whole reason we're
So
discussing
The
this.
main focus, the main focus is.
This is on the other side of the
Under
lane from the
trees.
green.
Under the tree.
Over here.
Yeah.
See, right
So that'll
here
keep
is where
people
they're
off the
parking
tree.
and killing the
Okay,
trees.
yeah.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Right.
Oh, sorry, Chuck. You all right?
Sorry to put a thing on this, but we should put some kind of an amendment in there with the exception of frivolities,
Well, I think that if we have an event down there, that we can always grant an exception to the parking ban.
If there's an
They'll
event
probably
down there,
want a
they have to
special
come
per-
for a permit anyway.
Yes.
Before the
Okay,
board.
okay, thank you, that's what I was looking for.
That's good. All right.
Yeah.
All those in favor of First Amendment?
Aye.
Right.
Do we have a Second Amendment?
Second motion.
Second motion. I move that we make the parking that is highlighted by the report that Chief Riley submitted, resident parking only, and specify the use of trailers in that parking.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Is there any discussion?
So what's the sign gonna read? When they put the sign up, what's the sign
I
gonna
guess
say?
resident parking trucks with trailers only.
Makes sense.
And then what does that do for the people visiting the little schoolhouse?
Well, I think we have,
We're moving on to the next part of facilitating.
yeah.
No, it's not yet.
Not
It's
yet,
not there
we're
yet.
getting there.
I think right now,
One at a time.
what it would be is that on the few days, people ignore our parking laws all the time. And I think that the chief and his folks would judiciously not ticket a car that is there on a rainy day when no one else is there, the sole car, they would ignore. But if there's 5 cars and guys driving around the block trying to park trailers, they might do something about it.
Well, my thought was instead of making it trailers, trucks and trailers only, just make it,
Just resident.
Resident parking.
resident parking. And then people that wanna park their trucks and trailers, if there's room, go ahead, park them there. Just don't prohibit them from there, but don't just isolate it for just that, because,
And if,
Yeah.
because for 3 weekends a summer,
I
It's
guess
not worth it.
a spot's a spot, it doesn't matter what side of the road it's on.
as long as they're not parking on these trees.
Yeah. Yeah, the only reason I was trying to specify a trailer space is because the overflow parking won't take trailers.
Well, that's okay, but they can park their trailers here, but I just don't wanna make it trailer only. I'd like to make it cars too,
I think
and
Richard has a
trailers.
good point there.
Excuse me if I might speak, because I do have a lot of experience with this, but then the chief will probably tell you, a lot of people that park there that don't have trailers are out-of-state cars that are, gone for a ride with somebody.
It's
in a boat.
visitors that are hopping on a boat.
Yep.
And those are the ones you probably want over at Fernals or whatever. But those are the ones that are parking, and some of them are possibly Newburyites that have a sticker, and they wouldn't be able to park there. They'll have to go over there.
Right.
You're never gonna keep everybody happy,
Keep-
that is for sure.
If this is just permit parking instead of trucks and trailers, hopefully that sends all the out-of-towners or people that don't hold a permit to the pay parking.
Right, and then if you have a permit and you have a trailer and you can fit there, have at it.
And if
there's
it's all
wrong,
full of people that have parking stickers,
then you're out of
Yeah.
luck.
and then
So
you're out of luck, you gotta go.
But
Should've
people
came
that-
earlier. We'll launch your catchment park, sorry.
But the people that visit the schoolhouse and the people that visit the Greenbelt property behind are usually not Newburyites and don't have stickers.
So it's
So
just,
I'd like to make an amendment.
no, wait a minute, I have a question, before you make your amendment, I have a question. Does Greenbelt have parking for them?
Why is that? It's a good point.
Can I answer that?
Good point.
Is there any frontage to it? There might not be.
Yeah, they have frontage on Newman Road, yeah.
Yeah, there's some frontage.
So they can park over there?
That might be
I guess
something.
they probably could, when you think about it.
Well,
I'll be honest with you, on
They-
slow days, on a Tuesday afternoon when there's no overflow parking and parking's not at a premium, and our guys, they're smart enough, if they're driving around Newman Road and see a car parked there and see people out walking around the schoolhouse, I really don't think I have anybody on the department that's gonna harass somebody like that.
And also, Greenbelt, I think they would be generally receptive. They send out guides and things that say this is where the area is, park here, et cetera. If we contacted them, I would imagine they would be receptive to directing people to park.
Yeah,
on
ask them
Newman
not
Road.
to
There's
park
some
on our
frontage there.
historic green.
Maybe, I don't know.
All right, I'm confused. Where were we?
We were on the trailer parking, I'm trying to amend it to make it simply resident parking.
All right.
So
Make the
I would
motion.
like to amend my motion so that this section highlighted in the report be resident parking only.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Now let's vote on the main motion.
And the main motion is, and
Essentially
has
just
been
that now.
amended. So make a motion to vote on that.
I
What do we
move
vote
that
on?
we vote.
All right, and there is a second. Any discussion?
Wait a minute, what are we voting on?
We're voting on the same
The
thing,
amended motion.
which means
Which means it's gonna be just resident parking?
resident.
Yes.
Resident only.
And if you have a
Period.
trailer and you wanna park it, you can?
Yep.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That was easy.
I move that we contact the Historic Society and any other interested persons.
Commission.
Hmm?
Commission.
Commission, sorry. Historic Commission to discuss the possibility of putting parking near the schoolhouse gravel parking lot, see what their thoughts
Small
are.
parking lot.
Three
And-
cars.
And that's gonna be, Alan, something that you're gonna do, and you're gonna also add to that, if you can, that it might facilitate the ability for someone to park there on a winter's day that has trouble otherwise, because of the plowing, so it could be for all season. So, I would take a second. Is there discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. So now, we put up no parking signs there, right? You made it a tow zone too? We already did that, right?
Yep.
All right.
That was really, pretty extraordinary.
And we're not talking about the boulders anymore, right?
No boulders, I never.
Old
brought up
business.
boulders up.
No, if you put boulders, you better go something.
Our citizen, what?
The chief indicated that he thought his folks would do that anyway, so.
Yeah, you're
Mike,
up next, Jay.
don't go anywhere.
All right, I'm back.
Under citizens' concerns, after we've beaten the other old business to death, we probably can do justice to this too.
Yes.
What do you got for us, Mike?
I had a resident come in and see me, a resident of Annapolis Way, that's really concerned about the foot traffic and the two-way traffic on that street. It's only a 10-foot wide travel lane, and when cars are coming in opposite directions, frequently one has to back up all the way down the length of the road or pull onto somebody's driveway. And that resident wanted to entertain making Annapolis Way a one-way, coming in from Southern Boulevard, very first entrance where the sharp curve is, coming in there and exiting on the south end. I discussed it with the highway superintendent, who said that he has no aversion to that at all. It's a narrow roadway. And I requested that the resident contact all the neighbors and get a general feel for whether they think. I've had emails from 2 or 3 of the neighbors that are in full support of Annapolis Way becoming a one-way. So what I told the resident was I'd bring it up before the board and then possibly set up a public hearing at some point at a future selectmen's date, meeting, so for all the neighborhood to come in and discuss it and then have you vote as to whether or not to make it a one-way. So all I'm asking tonight is to set this up for a public hearing. And obviously it's not gonna be at your next meeting, so at a future meeting. And that's all.
We could set a public hearing for our first meeting in July.
So, public hearing. So I move that we set a public hearing to discuss Annapolis Way becoming one-way at our first meeting in July at 7:15, whatever that date happens to be.
July 13th,
July.
no, that's June.
We have 2
July
in June,
11th.
Okay, stand corrected.
July 11th.
Do I have a second?
Second one.
Is there discussion?
As I say, I don't mind a one-way, the only exemption I want on that is for EMS.
We're coming in any way we
Yeah.
want anyway. If it's
There
an
you go.
emergency,
That's-
so.
I just want it legal.
I'll give myself a warrant.
It's,
Yeah.
just for the sake of discussion, though, as you head into this, you know, a lot of times as we've gone forward with the selectmen setting one way such as we did in Byfield, it seems simplistic. It never is. There could be a lot more people that have a lot different ideas that will be exposed at public hearings. I mean, we've had public hearings, we had Merrimack Valley do a traffic study. When you start setting the precedent on Plum Island of just saying, I think I want a one-way, that's, you know, although this is not a throughway between 2
It's not a high
streets,
volume road.
but it still sets a precedent.
Right, I'm pretty sure you can get all the residents on the street at this one hearing to discuss.
So-
Yeah, I have several friends that live on Annapolis, that road, several, and I wanted to make sure that they know about it. Okay.
So anyway, that's the things we head into as we go forward with it, and a public hearing is absolutely something very important. So, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have some correspondence. The first one is from George Pasenka, the Scoutmaster of Troop 15 from Raleigh. And as I've always said before, George has been at this quite a while. So he is saying, dear friend in scouting, I would be greatly honored if you could attend the Eagle Scout Court of Honor for James Patrick Kay, Samuel Charles Michael, and Christopher John Trolta. The ceremony will be held at 2 p.m. on June 24, 2017. He's got 3 Eagles going wild at the Congregational Church in Raleigh, and that is on Main Street. So these folks have received the highest award in scouting. It is in June. Do we have one meeting before that, or is it after? The 27th is after, right?
We now have one before for the public
Sorry.
hearing.
So I don't know if I would be able to attend at that time right now. So, but we could certainly,
I think we should certainly write a letter.
well, we have to these people anyway, I believe, because that's what the next letter says.
I thought it was to, I misunderstood, I thought it was to a different person that we.
No, I believe we've written letters to these folks already, haven't we, Ellen?
Yes, we have, but not,
Okay.
not the second.
Not the third one,
Request
so, right.
dated.
So, but like I said, maybe myself, because I was so involved in scouting, or someone else might be able to attend this, but why don't we, unless someone wants to lock into this date right now and go to this, why don't we wait till the next meeting and see where we stand?
The thing I can promise is to try.
So,
June 24th.
it's too far ahead for me to know,
It's a Saturday.
unless someone's ready to go. All right, so we're gonna wait for the next meeting to kind of lock into this. Also, we are gonna write a letter, as George has asked, to Christopher because he has achieved that we've done this before. Alan has done a very good job on it, and I would take a motion to write this letter.
Motion to write.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. This next, as I read this is very important. Is this a statement? I don't think they're asking for any motion, are they, Ellen?
No.
Because this isn't, I think we voted or have been party to this anyway, but this is very important. This is what we've been working on at the MRBA, this Piscataqua sand project. It is sand that could be coming from a dredge project up in Portsmouth. It is significant amounts of sand, and it's looking like now that the cost could be so very reduced, or maybe nothing, and it could come to Salisbury, Newburyport, and Newbury, which is the MRBA folks that have been working so hard to get it here. And the significance of this is also the fact that they might be doing another dredge project in the actual river itself. So more sand, and this is gonna be a nearshore disposal instead of being sacrificed to an offshore disposal. So as I understand this, you know, if we have already, I believe,
We have sent them a letter.
requested that we've been in this, and Alan, just make sure we don't have anything else that we have to do. Go ahead,
No,
Dan.
Tracy's
Yeah, that-
been working on this
I just wanted
with
to
Doug and.
make sure we reached out to Bruce, because the first line says requesting, but then it doesn't say what they request. So, or what they
You're
need
right.
from us.
Well, that's-
So I just wanna really make sure that they don't need something from us. So I think reaching out to Bruce or Lenny or somebody, just to make sure that we've dotted our i's and crossed our t's on this particular thing is important.
Yeah, and I believe what this means is that the product of all these efforts, if you read Laura, is highly suitable and advantageous to the environment for a pilot project, and the nature being requested. Thus, we join Governor Baker in seeking its approval, and it is signed by all our representatives. So, but I can't emphasize to you how important for Plum Island and sand transport and the larger scheme of how sand moves in that translateral area on Plum Island offshore, that this could be, have tremendous potential and value, especially for where we have a sand deficit, which is further down, let's say by the Blue and Harvard Way.
And yeah, that'll help with the exposed rocks, hopefully, right?
Well, it helps, like I said, hopefully with the whole way the beach migrates with the new building of the jetties.
Yeah.
This all figures into, hopefully, as it did years ago, you know, the place there was 200 feet in front of those homes
Yeah, I know.
after the jetties were built last time, so.
Okay.
Okay, Martha, maybe you can explain the chip a little bit, but as I understand this, this is just the fact to let us know that we have public meetings that are scheduled as follow, and it is the capital investment program. It's an update for the multi-million-dollar program that makes the long-term multimodal investments across the Commonwealth for projects, municipal projects, airports, rail, transit, all those things. That's about what it is. That's what a chip amounts to.
I think I have to.
Yeah, well, anyway, that's what I took this to be, and
And
if
most of the
anyone
meetings
has.
are passed.
If, yeah, well, that's cool.
There's some tomorrow.
Yeah, would you go to that, please?
No.
Okay,
But you can see, the meetings are recorded, so
yeah,
you
and that
can
was one thing
see
I
them
did
online.
underline. If you are unable to attend a meeting, a copy of the presentation is available, and it is at www.mass.gov/mass.chip. And now we have, as I understand this is a letter of certification, which is available for the public and any of the board that needs to see it. And it is an official letter of certification on your assessment obligation for FY18 operating capital budget as stipulated in the regional agreement section, whatever, for the Triton Regional School. So it kind of lays out what our commitments are. And again, it talks about a official letter of certification for the amended budget. Now, we have, minutes.
Motion to approve is written.
Second.
It is only one, I thought there were two. So it is May 9th, 2017, and the motion has been made and it's been seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Warrants, a motion.
Motion to sign warrants.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Meeting updates.
I have the first coffee hour in June. I've reached out to Pitta Hall to see if I could host a coffee hour on the island, since nobody likes to come down here anyway. Pitta has not responded yet, so if there's any residents who have a nice big kitchen or something like that that they'd like to host in, I'll, if I hear from anyone, you can reach me at jespersondamon@gmail.com or contact the Selectmen's office. I'd love to do a coffee hour down on the island.
Mike?
Anytime any of the selectmen want, you can host one at the PD, at
Thank
the
you.
training run as well.
Thanks.
And I will contact Jen, and hopefully before, the Thursday before that, I can get something into the paper to announce its location. So any residents who are watching and interested in that, please let me know. Thank you very much.
And I think we should duly note that the police, the old town hall police is now available, which is closer and more in the middle of town, so that's good.
Yep. Yeah, it may come down to that in the end.
Anything else?
Do we have a schedule as to who's gonna do the next one at the game?
I think it's your turn.
We didn't do
I
the
haven't done it
summer.
in a while. Huh? Good, we took the summer off. That's right, last year we took the summer off and we
So
started in the
June,
fall.
July will be off.
I think we're going to revisit it.
When we're gonna rethink it. So you're doing June,
Yeah.
so July, August will be off. In September we'll revisit it. That sound good?
Yep.
Wait, watch that key. That was good. All right.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is this,
Second, I mean.
all right, is it discussion? How we doing? All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.